Hello, Park Bench community. This is LaDonna Cotton, Realtor with Virtual Properties Realty. During the month of February, we're focusing on finances, and today we've got just the person to help us cover this topic, Julie Strope with financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you so much for having me, LaDonna. It's wonderful to be here today with the Park Bench community, and I'm excited to share some information.
Excellent. We are so glad to have you. So let's jump right in. And the first question is, what are some common mistakes that you see people make with their finances?
Yeah, so I think some of the most common mistakes that I see people make are really two things: not having a strong emergency fund and not saving enough, or not starting to save early enough for retirement. So when you don't have a strong, adequate emergency fund, you can very quickly go into debt when emergencies arise. So having that safety net of cash savings specifically earmarked for emergencies is super important. And then as far as retirement goes, statistically right now in the United States, 1 out of every 5 Americans has only saved $5,000 for retirement. That's a huge problem. So helping people to get on track for that is very important.
Yeah, that's great information to have, especially now that we've seen so many people need an emergency fund with COVID.
Absolutely.
So then, to help us get out of these predicaments, in your opinion, why is Northwestern Mutual the best company to work with?
Well, Northwestern Mutual is very special to me because it provides advisors like myself who really take the time to get to know the people that we're working with. That's important because when I'm sitting down with somebody, I want them to feel like they're in a safe space to be able to provide all of the information necessary to really create a strong financial plan for them. But I also like knowing that my clients will never have to sit on a 1-800 number and retell their story 1,000 times to multiple people. My clients have things that come up in their life, as we all do, and they come to me and talk to me about it every time, and we work through it together and update their plan and continue to make progress together. So that is very important to me. And then the other thing about Northwestern Mutual that I really love and gives me great pride is that it's a very strong institution. They've been around for over 160 years, and through wars and various types of pandemics in the past and depressions and recessions, they have stood strong through all of that, and they continue to do so today. And that's important because when my clients need them to be there, they are. There's only 2 companies in the US right now that are AAA rated, and Northwestern Mutual is one of them. That makes me very proud to stand next to them and provide the services that they provide.
Oh, that's great. Yes, love to hear companies that have 100-year histories.
Yeah.
And speaking of your clients, making it more personal anyway, what is the most memorable experience that you've had working with a client?
Yeah, well, I would say that the most memorable, I have a lot of memorable experiences, but the most memorable one that really stands out, a woman contacted me. She had just lost her husband, and so she was in the grieving process. She also had a 3-year-old daughter. She was working 2 jobs, and she was terrified that she wasn't going to be able to make ends meet. We took a look at her financial position, and thank goodness her husband had some foresight and done some good planning while he was alive and had adequate life insurance. And taking a look at everything together, I was able to tell her that she was going to be okay, and she did not have to continue to work 2 jobs. She could stop working nights, take the time to properly mourn and be with her 3-year-old daughter, and work through this with together. And that was an incredibly impactful moment.
So with the pandemic, have you found that that's caused a lot of people to reevaluate and take a closer look at their finances?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that right now, finances are on everybody's mind, whether it's from the loss of a job or on the other side of that, some people are thriving and doing better than they've ever done before. Wherever somebody falls into that or somewhere in between, everybody is thinking about finances right now. So helping people through whatever stage of life they're in right now has become very important. And again, it goes back to some of the basic things of having a strong emergency fund, making sure your risk management is in place. I've definitely seen more people now than I did before who are reevaluating to make sure they have the proper protections in place for themselves, their family, and their income. And yeah, absolutely, just sitting down and whereas I think like this was like the 100th thing to do on most people's lists before, has now become a priority. So I definitely have been seeing that.
Excellent. So, lastly, could you share your process to get started working with a new client?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a really thorough process. I have very intimate conversations. I don't take my position lightly. It's important to me to create a safe space for somebody to come and share with me what is going on in their financial position right now. Money's emotional. So, there's a lot of things that come up when somebody sits down to think about their financial planning. So creating an environment to do so in a very honest and open way, a judge-free environment, is incredibly important to me. The process is, I sit down with somebody and we talk about priorities and goals for the short term, midterm, and long term time frame. I have a lot of questions that I ask so that I can gain understanding to what your thought process is around key financial planning concepts such as retirement, savings, budgeting. Um, I take a pretty deep dive into what a person's current financial position looks like. It's very important for me to understand cash flow so that I can see if there is a surplus left over that we can work with to start having your money work for you.
Mhm.
Um, and basically, that first meeting is really to gather as much information as I possibly can so I can take that and put together a really thorough analysis of how to help somebody achieve their goals. So for some people, it's working, they're able to do a lot all at once, and for others, it's working in phases. But we look at all of that and then see what makes sense to implement right away and what makes sense to implement later down the road. All of my meetings are complimentary. I want people to be able to have the education and insight to see where they are and what is possible without having to pay for that. I think that your money should be going to your savings and your actual plan, not to me to make that plan for you. Um, and then if we form a client advisor relationship, then we will get back together regularly to update and track and make sure that you're staying continuing to make progress with your plan. So I meet with my clients at the very least annually, but depending on a person's situation, sometimes quarterly or biannually, depending if what's going on.
Okay.
And I do a lot of work with individuals, families, and business owners. So it's really, I will sit down with anyone and see if I can help them.
Awesome. Well, we would definitely appreciate that. And the best way to contact you is?
Yeah, my email address is Julie, Julie .strope, STROPE @nm.com. And I use my cell phone for everything for work. So you're welcome to give me a call or text me and we can set up a time to talk. My cell phone number is 646-298-4343. I can work with anyone anywhere.
Well, excellent. We definitely appreciate you talking with us today. And that concludes our conversation today with Julie Strope of Northwestern Mutual. Again, my name is LaDonna Cotton with Virtual Properties Realty, giving back to the community by sharing helpful resources in support of small business owners. And if you'd like your business featured in an upcoming video, message me on Instagram at LD_VPR_Insta. Have a great day.